Harlem rapper Jim Jones recently revealed that his mother taught him how to French kiss. First black Oscar-winning actor Sidney Poitier dies at 94. Rowdy Nation TV, welcome back to the channel, guys. Do me a favor, click that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. Let's get it. A lot's been going on this past week, as you can see in the intro. Oscar-winning actor, our first black Oscar-winning actor, Sidney Poitier, has passed away. Also, Jim Jones has admitted that his mother taught him how to French kiss. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but me, man, that makes me feel kind of queasy. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about that. But we got a lot more that we're going to get into. You know, a lot's been going on this past week, and we're going to dive right into it. So hold on. Let's get right back into this story about Jim Jones and his mother teaching him how to French kiss at an early age. Let's get it. Jim Jones was on Angela Lee's Lip Service podcast recently, where he stated that my mom taught me how to tongue kiss when I was younger. Jones, 45, disclosed while discussing that his mother taught him about sex on Angela Lee's Lip Service. What was the instructions, Yee asked, which he responded, there wasn't no instructions. She showed me with her mouth. A shocked Yee then asked for clarification. She kissed you? It's my mother. What do you mean? Jones retorted. In an apparent attempt to rationalize the act, the We Fly High artist went on to share that his mother was only 17 years old when she had him. They call me Mr. Tibbs. I remember that saying that's one of Sidney Poitier's famous quotes out of the movie In the Heat of the Night, starring Rod Steiger. And you know, most of his movies were race-based movies because he came out of the 60s, right? And black people were so new to Hollywood. But one thing that he did say he wouldn't do, he wouldn't take any role that would be demeaning, that he thought was demeaning towards his people, him and his people. So, but a lot of people was getting on his back because he was the first one, you know, the first black actor to get an award, an Oscar, not just an award, but an Oscar. You know, a lot of people thought he was selling out. But, you know, he was an understudy to Harry Belafonte. And, you know, Harry Belafonte back in the 60s was an outspoken civil rights leader. And behind the scenes, Sidney Poitier, he went and he met with a lot of civil rights people, too, back in the day. But they really gave him a hard time because they said that he played this good Negro. He always played the safe, good Negro roles. But I disagree. I agree with him that, you know, I think if it wasn't for him, the Denzel Washingtons and all the other people, the other, you know, high-profile actors black actors that you got, I think he paved the way for, you know, for like the Bill Cosbys and all those type of people that were coming up during that time. Everybody's not as outspoken as Harry Belafonte was during that time. But when I think of Sidney Poitier, I think of black excellence. In 2009, President Obama awarded Sidney Poitier the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor for his artistic and humanitarian achievements. And I'm so glad that this brother got that honor, you know, before he passed away. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that Sidney Poitier lived long enough and we had somebody in the White House who could give him that honor, because I definitely think he deserved it. Like I said before, he's an Oscar award winner, the first black to receive that honor way back in the 60s. We had so much going on back in the 60s with the racial tensions with civil rights and Martin Luther King and all these people, all these civil rights icons that were getting killed. You know what I'm saying? So for him to get recognized for his art, for his talent back then, that shows you how amazing Sidney Poitier was. So go back and check out some of his work. You know, Lilies in the Field, To Serve with Love, In the Heat of the Night. He has so many movies that he has made. You know what I'm saying? And he has so many awards. I can't name them all in this short period. So R.I.P. to Sidney Poitier, film icon. Rest in peace. 3 white men who chased and murdered 25-year-old black jogger Ahmaud Arbery in South Georgia was sentenced to life in prison Friday, with 2 having no chance of parole. CNN is reporting that Travis McMichael, 35, his father, Gregory McMichael, 66, and neighbor, William Rowdy Bryan, were convicted in November on a raft of charges, including felony murder for Arbery's death. Judge Timothy Walmsley sentenced the McMichaels to life in prison without the possibility of parole, while Bryan was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. The 52-year-old will be eligible for parole under Georgia law only after he has served 30 years in prison because he was convicted of serious violent felonies. Before handing down the sentence, Walmsley held a minute of silence, saying it represented a fraction of the time Ahmaud Arbery was running through the neighborhood outside Brunswick before he was killed on February 23rd, 2020. Now, when this trial first started, and I heard that they only had one black juror on the jury, I was kind of skeptical. But I like to send a super shout out to Georgia, to the white people who lived in that county, who got the courage to get on that jury and bring down that verdict. But you were only doing the right thing. You was doing the thing that, I don't see how somebody could sit back and watch that video and not have any empathy for what happened to this young man, or empathy for what happened, while his mother sit in the courtroom, and how the defense just tore this man's reputation apart, and he did nothing wrong. He didn't steal anything, didn't rob anybody. But like I say, thank God thank God for the judge, thank God for the jury, thank God for the prosecution, and I'm glad that it's a good day for America. Honestly, not just for black people. It's a good day for the justice system. Justice finally worked. So R.I.P. to that young brother Ahmaud Arbery, and finally his family has received some justice. Okay, so you guys know that I made a video about young Dolph and the murder of young Dolph. He got killed in November last year by a guy named Justin Johnson. And in that video, I was like, well, what was the relationship to young Dolph? Well, I've recently found out that this guy was a part of young Dolph's team. So if you can't trust your homies, you can't trust your friends, people that you deal and do business with, who can you trust? So yeah, it's coming out that this guy, they call it, his real name is Justin Johnson, but he goes by Straight Drop. Straight Drop has been identified as the shooter and the killer of young Dolph, and they also identified the other second suspect, whose name goes by JoJo Splat. So, like I said before, I knew this case was going to get solved. The brother said he was supposed to turn himself in. He hasn't turned himself in, but what he did do was make a music video, and I'm gonna try to get that to you guys as soon as possible. But this is just an update, from all the stuff that's been going on in the last few days. And I come to find out that this brother done made a video on the day that he was supposed to turn himself in for the accusations of allegedly killing young Dolph. And like I said, allegedly JoJo Splat is supposed to be the second shooter. This is all just internet news. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know these people. I'm just trying to do my research to find out what was going on, and that's what I'm coming up with. That's what the internet is saying. So, like I said before, I'm gonna try to get that video to you with Straight Drop. He's on the run. He's still wanted for murder. He didn't turn himself in today. So we're gonna see how this story turns out, right? So let's just keep it pushing. Fat Joe says being a rat is the worst thing you can be in life. What you guys feel about that? How you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? I understand what the thugs is gonna say, but if you're a civilian, I think the same rules apply to a civilian as a thug. Let's jump into this, right? But Fat Joe says being a rat is the worst thing you can be in life. Okay, I'm going to read this article to you guys. You guys tell me what y'all think about this. It says, there are a lot of unsavory acts and crimes you can commit in life. I agree. There's a lot of stuff you can do that's pretty heinous. But according to Fat Joe, cooperating with the law enforcement against your co-conspirators for a lenient sentence is worse as it gets. Okay, I understand that, right? Because that's kind of different, right? Because I'm in the shit with you, right? I'm sorry, I'm out there doing the same thing you doing. Me and you, we doing dirt together, right? So if I get caught, and then I understand that part. But what if somebody kills your brother? What if somebody kills your mother, your daughter, You know what I'm saying? What if some kind of a heinous crime was committed against somebody in your family? So do you pick up the phone and call the police, or do you go and get street justice? I think it just me personally depends on whether you're a soldier in the street or if you're a civilian. I think if you're a civilian, the same rules don't apply. I think a lot of people been over that before. But even nowadays in the new generation, it don't matter with social media. People, they tell on themselves and don't even know they telling on themselves. They get, on platforms like this or get into interviews with people and they get to speaking. And then right now in this new generation, it's like it ain't no fun if nobody knows what you've done, right? I think that's how it is right now. But I kind of agree. I agree with Fat Joe too, man. If you out there and you living that life, man, you got to stand 10 toes down on what you out there doing with the people that you represent, with your comrades. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a buster move. You know what I'm saying? The police, they stick together. They're gonna beat you down and shoot you and do everything else, and they're not gonna tell on each other. They're not gonna do it. Like they say, the police is the biggest gang in the country. Believe it or not, I don't know if you guys want to believe that, but the police is the biggest gang in the country. So I do agree with Fat Joe to a certain extent. If you're a civilian, those rules don't apply. But like I said, that's just a recap on some of the stuff that went on this past week. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to get you guys that video, a straight drop. He's the accused killer of young Dolph, the alleged killer of young Dolph. He was supposed to turn himself in today, but he went and made a music video. So, like I said, we're gonna see how that story turns out, and we're gonna stay on top of it. Rowdy Nation TV, click that like button, subscribe to the channel. We out.